Hello and welcome back to Altex TV, and in today's video we are going to review episode 2 of season 8 of Game of Thrones, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I thought of this episode and where it's going to go to the next episode. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So episode 2 is now available to watch, and let's start saying this episode, if you're expecting more fighting and all that, this was not the episode for that. This is another episode, just like the first one was basically setting everyone in, having everyone meet, having the interaction with the characters, creating that character drama. Now this episode is all about the calm before the storm. This is the big build-up, getting everything prepared for that big climactic battle of Winterfell. And I tell you what, I enjoyed this episode. I thought it, got everything ready for what we're going to see in episode 3. And I'm just, episode 3 is going to be unbelievable. So, there's some few standouts of this episode that I found very, very interesting. I thought, let's start off with the big one. Daenerys and Jon Snow at the end of it, where basically Jon tells her the story and how he is a Targaryen and he's the rightful heir. And you just see her face when she finds out that, no, that can't be true. That's impossible. How can you be the heir? And you can see it, the dread on her face of the fact that Jon is actually the true heir, and that it's not hers to claim now. Now it makes me wonder: is she gonna double cross Jon now? Is she going to stab him in the back, basically? Because we all know she wants that Iron Throne like nothing else. And this is such an intriguing plotline now that this is out in the open. Daenerys knows, Jon's told her. Jon's going to have a little, look over his shoulder here and there, because I got a feeling Daenerys is not happy with this news that she's found out. But that was a fantastic scene. Now, another episode that was emotional, heartfelt, was when Jaime knighted Brienne of Tarth. And oh my god, that scene, the acting was brilliant in it. And just the joy on her face, because all she ever wanted to be was a knight. And for them to do that, for Jaime to be big enough to do that, was absolutely so emotional. The tears were flooding out of, up in her eyes, and the smile, you couldn't rip that smile off. And that was a very powerful scene, and just what they needed. And I think that's going to give them the push. And her and Jaime, there's just some chemistry between her and Jaime that I just want to see more. I want to see more going forward now between them two. I want to see the chemistry and the dynamic that's going to happen between Jaime and Brienne, and it's going to be a fantastic way to see them fight in battle. Is Jaime going to die in the next battle? Is he going to sacrifice himself for her? That's the big question. Is that going to happen in the Battle of Winterfell? I don't know, but that scene just absolutely was brilliant. So we're going to go back to the start now of the whole episode, where Jaime is on trial, basically. And you can see Daenerys is not happy. Daenerys wants to kill him. Daenerys does not want him anywhere near. Sansa doesn't want to, but as soon as Brienne steps up and vouches for him, then she's like, well, you basically did everything for me. I trust you in my life, so I'm trusting you with this. If you trust Jaime with your life, then why not? And Jon's basically, Jon Snow, really, this is why he should be king. Screw what happened with everyone's family. We need all the help we can get to fight this greater evil. And that's why Jon just absolutely nails it when he says, we need all the men we can get. And that was just brilliant, powerful. Daenerys is not happy about this, and Jaime is being saved. And there's also in this scene where Tyrion and Daenerys starts getting a bit snappy with Tyrion, and it just shows you that she is worried that she's not going to get the Iron Throne, and she has basically threatened that Tyrion will not be the hand at come the end after all this if she has her way. And basically he needs to step it up or something like that, she's basically saying, because he trusted Cersei, but really you can't trust her. Everyone knows she was never ever going to help. So that throws it in. You got Daenerys and Tyrion now fighting and Tyrion knows something's up. And basically, it's throughout this whole episode is their fight throughout this episode where Daenerys is constantly undermining Tyrion and basically just throwing it back in his face. And yeah, it's who knows what's going to happen, but Daenerys is turned into a right bitch. I tell you what, she needs to die. She needs to die. I hope Sansa's the one to kill her, because you also had that scene where she come in to talk to Sansa, and they're talking, and then Sansa asks her, so after all this, what happens with the North and all that? And Daenerys is a bit like, well, what do you think's going to happen? I mean, I'm the queen, I rule everything. And Sansa's like, well, no, well, we're not going to step down to anyone. We took the North back. This is our home. We are not bowing to anyone. And basically, then the hand comes off the other hand like that, and it's just like Daenerys is not happy. Sansa's kind of just standing her ground, which is absolutely brilliant. Good on you, Sansa, because Daenerys is really turned into a big villain now. She's kind of like selfish. She just only thinks about herself. She doesn't think about anyone else. And this is where it's going to be bad for her, because what she's trying to do, she's trying to stop Cersei from being queen and take over, but she is slowly turning into a form of her that just wants to rule everything, that it's her way or the highway. And this is what makes this TV show so compelling, is the drama throughout mixed in is always just as good as the fighting. Like, the drama that goes on is so good that you don't need all the fighting for this. And this is why I think this episode, The Calm Before the Storm, is just setting up a little bit more to what is going to happen after the Battle of Winterfell, whether or not they win or not. And that's where all this drama is going to lead to. Now, we talk about Brandon Stark, who comes up with the idea that in order to kill the Night King, you need to get him away. And the Night King's after Bran. And basically he's telling him that he wants a forever night or something like that. And so basically he's going to try and kill Bran so he can erase all memory of the living world and take over. So they have an idea of keeping Bran separate with, an little army around him, so that when the Night King comes in to try and kill Bran, they can take advantage of that and hopefully kill the Night King. And it's basically the whole thing, if you cut off, the head, the main head, then the rest of them all basically dead. It's like in Star Wars where they destroy the droid ship, all the droids just shut down. That's what they're assuming that could work. If they cut off the head of the Night King and destroy him, then all the other ones will cease to exist. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the Battle of Winterfell in the next episode. That's going to be interesting to see. How does Bran die? Does the Night King kill Bran, but then the Night King dies as well? It's going to be interesting to see. And finally, the other scene that I thought was absolutely brilliant was when Theon turned up at Winterfell, and basically Daenerys is looking at him like, who the hell? What are you doing here? And that, and where is my army and that? And you can just see Sansa just staring at him with the tears, and when he says, I would like to fight for Winterfell, Lady Sansa, if you'd let me. And she runs up and hugs him, and you just, the reunion. You can see that Theon feels so bad for what he did that he is trying everything he can do to make up for what he did wrong. And I think that is compelling, and his character has really gone on a journey of, just absolutely torture. Everything bad you could imagine went wrong for him. And now, I think the Battle of Winterfell is going to be his last hurrah. And he's going to die an honourable death. And it's just going to be emotional. Whether or not he does it saving Bran, that's going to be the interesting one. But I just see that reunion was so emotional. And you could just see it. The acting was outstanding. And yeah, bring on the Battle of Winterfell. So really, this episode is a good episode. It's the calm before the storm. You can't have every episode all guns blazing. But we are coming into the third one, which is going to be the Battle for Winterfell. And, oh my god, this episode is... They've been saying this is the biggest TV battle ever. And I cannot wait to see what they come up with in this episode. It's going to be insane. Get ready, get the tissues next to you, because I've got a feeling some big people are going to die in this episode. And then we're going to move forward to, I think, after the Battle of Winterfell is moving forward to the Battle for the Iron Throne. So, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you thought of this episode. What were the highlights? Where do you think we're going with the Battle of Winterfell? And basically, is this plan going to work of theirs? Or is this just basically the Night King and that beat them and continue on? A few of them survive and they've got to go around and try and stop them again. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.